a much easier time in some ways because you could probably like take your experience from making blueprints on the multiplayer save, and it would be so much easier. Obviously, vertical splitters, which I found out that though they are vertical, they don't happen to have like 5 holes.
Hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, but they did actually finally fix the problem with the program, the fancy splitters. There's now a load balancing splitter.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So you can actually, mess around with how it evens out like things or
Okay.
inputs. It can also work as a splitter or a uh, merger. So you can do it both ways.
Okay. I like that. Yeah. I probably will have to return to it in a single player playthrough at some point. Maybe wait to see if they're gonna do more updates
Maybe
besides
over a
that.
year or something
Yeah. Yeah.
like that.
Let them cook. Okay. We're recording now, so
Okay.
um, yeah. I mean, it's obvious what we're doing here. We're gonna
It's so
watch this.
obvious that it's on screen.
It's on screen,
Yeah.
and
RPM.
everybody get your popcorn, find something comfy because we're gonna be here for a minute. Because this,
I'm doing other things because I watched it live, at least with partners, because as a heads up, the English stream died.
Oh, it did.
And I'd say it died around the 40-minute mark.
I mean, this is the VOD version, so I mean, I guess I'm assuming
pretty
it
sure
is.
the VOD is going to be okay.
Yeah, we'll see.
Well, since you probably watched the JP stream, you probably know are you going to point out when things are different?
I'll try to if I remember.
Okay.
There's one that's pretty obvious, but it was like only 2 things got replaced as far as I recall.
Okay, we can go over that.
Yeah.
All right, but let's go ahead and get started. Let's see what this is all about. I'm excited. I mean, I've been spoiled about a couple of things, but well, I mean, I think I've been spoiled a couple of things.
I mean, there's obviously the discourse, but we'll get to that discourse later.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably going to mention that near the end, right?
They actually don't mention it at the end. They said basically they stated that they would post it at a later point,
which was just simply later in the day, I guess.
That is
after the stream.
That is a fancy intro.
Yep.
Okay, so let's have to starting off with games. Okay.
Yes.
Oh man, I can't wait till I go down to Yoshi's.
Okay, this is one of the things I was spoiled about.
Let's go.
Mario Kart.
Yep.
Well, when you consider that the last Mario Kart was like over 10 years old now.
Yeah.
But did they spoil what kind of gameplay?
Yeah, that part was spoiled.
Okay.
I didn't know what kind of gameplay. How's it different?
You'll find out very soon.
I mean, so far there's nothing really different.
So far.
So far. They actually pointed out. And then everybody's favorite thing is probably...
Well, other than the player count, it's like almost 20 racers.
24.
It definitely looks fun. That's funny.
And burger confirmed. And the funny thing is, now that I've watched it again, I am seeing hints of it throughout this. So it's not 9, it's not 10, it's World.
Hello everyone, I'm Koichi Kawamoto, and I'll be one of your guides for today's Nintendo Direct. I'm the producer for Nintendo Switch 2.
Koichi.
I'm Takuhiro Dota, the director for Nintendo Switch 2.
Dota.
And I'm Tetsuya Sasaki, the hardware design lead for Nintendo Switch 2.
Good person.
Yeah.
What you just saw was Mario Kart World, launching exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. Now, what do you think this brand new Mario Kart game will be like?
You're gonna tell us, aren't you?
A brand new entry in the Mario Kart series is launching exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. Welcome to this vast world. Kart races are held throughout various regions that span the globe.
Wait, are they going to do it?
Depending on the time of day and weather conditions, the atmosphere will change.
Touring mode? I'm trying to think of the term.
Give me a moment.
And in this Mario Kart game, you can go off the racetrack and drive virtually everywhere in this world.
It's new for Nintendo.
In the
but
classic
it's not a new
Grand Prix,
concept.
race through 4 courses in a bid for first place. But don't sleep at the wheel. You'll also drive to the next course as part of the competition. With 24 drivers in each race, the most in series history, the competition is gearing up. Introducing Knockout Tour.
So have you figured out?
Race non-stop from one corner of the world to another.
You want me to give you a hint of the game
There are
that
multiple
actually tried
checkpoints
this
along the
first?
way.
Well,
If you're below the placement
I
shown
already
when you hit
know
a checkpoint,
it's
you'll
no
be
longer
eliminated.
running.
Yep, Burnout
Can
Paradise.
you make it all the way to the finish line?
Actually, no, it was Burnout Paradise.
Oh.
Well, touring isn't necessarily.
You can also
in the-
freely drive
I mean,
around
it's
this
a racing
vast
style
world
we've had
in free
decades.
roam.
Okay, so here's the free roam part.
By going
Yep.
off-road, you can explore new areas and routes. So drive wherever your heart takes you.
I mean, that's a fun, relaxing
You
way
can
to
also
play the
go
game,
for
I guess.
scenic drives with friends. And even take photos together at different locations.
For Mario Kart Open World.
Open world driving. It's not a bad idea, honestly. Considering that a lot of
Brand
people
new
did
race
like
across the
concept
entire
from
world
the
starts
Crew
here.
or Burnout Paradise.
Mario Kart World!
Reminds me of Diddy Kong
This
Racing
game
as well.
launches on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2. More details about this title will be shared in an upcoming Mario Kart World Direct. So be on the lookout for more information in
Mario
the
Kart
future.
World gets its own direct. That's funny.
Well, it is
Mario
one of their
Kart
flagship
World
titles,
launches on the
essentially.
same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
I just didn't. I feel like they covered a lot already. I guess maybe there's more to cover. This.
There's a lot to cover.
There's a lot
We'll
to
share
say.
more
I
details in
mean,
the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it.
like customizing exactly how the races will work, whether or not you can how much you can customize. Like
How
maybe
many-
you want to have it more classically designed. Maybe.
New
I guess
characters
this.
added to the roster.
I guess it makes sense why it took so long between releases. They really wanted to make a different game. But that's how they do things, right? So.
Right.
Next, we'd like to introduce some of the new features of Nintendo Switch 2. These are the Joy-Con 2 controllers for Switch 2.
Joy-Con 2.
And on the right Joy-Con 2, we've added a new C button.
Ooh. Ah.
Let's take a look at some new experiences it offers.
Not the C buttons.
I'm still ahead of all of you guys. That was me. That was you. So quick.
Oh, they're adding chat?
As a lot of people said, it's Nintendo Discord edition.
I mean, it has been a big complaint about how they were handling chat originally on the Switch.
Introducing Game
On
Chat, a
initial
new
launch, if
feature
I
for
remember
Nintendo
correctly.
Switch 2.
Yeah. You had to have the Nintendo Switch app on your phone.
Hi, missed you.
With this feature, you'll be able to communicate with friends and family while playing a game.
Should we follow you? Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But
I mean, this was, as I said,
While
like a
using
feature
the
that
Game Chat
feels
feature, your
inherently
voice is
naked.
recognized by a microphone built into
I
the
get
system.
like they really
But it's not behind
integrated
me,
into
right?
the system.
Alright, let's keep going. Okay. So,
It can pick up your speaking voice clearly, even from a distance.
look at this. Jump on here. All right, let's keep going. Let's make a left right here. Let's make a.
When it's noisy around you, your voice will still come through clearly, letting you chat with ease.
This one I have some doubts about.
Okay, nice.
It
Right.
does look beautiful. It's so big.
And you can use this feature in handheld mode too, letting you easily chat with friends and family. If you open the chat menu and turn on game screen sharing,
Good job. There we go.
you can also share your game
Now
screen.
we can get the
Did you
old
see someone
school
just like, go on
screen
top of that
cheat.
dinosaur?
Yeah.
They can do that?
Do it?
You guys are just
Stop
did
staring
it.
at my screen. Damn it.
Oh shoot. Oh, he's trying to eat me.
Okay, I got it.
Oh no.
Yay!
Okay. You can chat to your heart's content, even while playing different games.
Yeah, I know that
Neat.
one. It's so hard, right?
Good.
Tough.
That one I
Oh,
do
wow.
like.
I'm like in the sky right here. I fell. I'm falling. Okay, we got it. We're safe.
Kirby. Look
My
at
my
this.
nephews are gonna like this.
Cute. So cute.
You can adjust
Well,
the
their
size of your
parents
game screen.
will like this.
Hey, somebody was playing a game that I don't currently have in my possession.
This will make playing with my
expand
nephews and nieces
another friend's game
much easier.
screen.
And the one thing I've seen some people say is like, oh my god, it's so horrible quality. And it's like,
the wall.
I don't think Nintendo's going for quality. I think they're going more for the
Wall
experience
ride.
of helping somebody.
Right. Like
So everyone
it's-
can watch
it would
them
be-
play.
it would be a lot of
I think I know where you are.
resources to make it quote unquote quality. That's not necessary for this.
I think it's probably far more honest of them to say that, like, don't
Let's take a picture
expect
here.
it to
Okay, are you
be,
ready?
you know,
Smile.
Yay. Oh,
wow,
that's sick.
I like your pose, Meeks.
1080p
On the right
HD,
Joy-Con 2 controller,
60
there's an
FPS.
additional
You
button.
know?
With the C button, you can pull up a chat menu.
Oh dang. Really cool. Wait, actually, guys, I got a call coming right now, so I'll be right back. Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Here, you can quickly and easily mute yourself and more. And there's this.
Oh, new periphery. Oh.
By connecting this camera to the system,
Hey.
Hey, look, streamer mode.
Hey, what's up? Hello.
Oh, my gang.
Hi, how's everyone doing?
Oh wow.
Good?
So it filters
you
out
can appear on screen
everything.
and video chat
That's
while
pretty
playing
clever.
a game.
Seeing your faces on here.
Wait, Nick, how was your test yesterday?
It
Yeah.
was
Once
good.
again, I saw people complaining. It's like,
It's
oh my god.
okay. It's funny because I think that is almost unnecessary. But if they went ahead and did it, like that's good on them that they actually went and did that kind of technology. Because I would think that'd be unnecessary. But
Here's how it looks with
It's a
just the
feature.
camera feed.
It's one of those
Right.
things that it makes it
Okay.
better, sweetens the deal,
Can you wait
Yeah.
for
improves
me?
cost effectiveness.
Please look forward to games
Purchasing
which
this.
use your camera feed like this.
A better question is just whether or not, you know,
Hey.
No, wait.
you
No,
can use your own cameras,
Left, left,
I'll let you fix
or it has to be Nintendo property. Which I'm
oh, I
guessing-
wonder. I bet
Using
it
game
wouldn't
chat.
let you, but we'll see.
Even when you're apart, you can play games and hang out
Although
as if you
I
were
wonder
together
if there's
in
going to
the
be like
same room.
third-party vendors
Play
trying
together,
to make cameras
or
that work.
compete in online multiplayer games.
I admit,
I mean,
I
it would
have
be a question of cost effectiveness, I would think.
Well, I do actually
Decide
have a
your own
price
rules
for it.
a retro game competition.
Do they have? Are they going to share it here
Or
later?
hold a sports
No,
competition
the
between
Okay,
price
families.
is not any. They don't list any
All
prices in the
together.
video.
Okay, then yeah.
anytime,
You can go ahead and tell us
anywhere.
then.
Game
It's
chat.
going to be priced at $50.
Not terrible.
What did you think?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not that bad
In
for a
developing
camera.
Game Chat,
Yeah.
our goal was for you to enjoy
I mean,
playing online.
Yeah,
with
it could be
others more
cheaper, but
closely.
it'd probably be worse quality.
It makes me think. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those peripherals that like you mentioned streaming before. I wonder if it's gonna be one of those peripherals that like VTubers are gonna hijack to use for their VTubing or something like that.
Actually,
well,
I don't think so. It's
no, I
not
don't
high
think
quality
they
enough
can.
quality.
including family and friends. Almost
The
as if
other
you're all
factor
playing
is that it's
together in the
mentioned
same
that, like,
place.
technically, based off of one thing, it
The
can
camera you
track
saw in the
multiple
trailer
people.
is the Nintendo Switch 2 camera,
Interesting.
which will be available on the same day as Switch 2.
Because they said, like,
A
it can be
Nintendo
used
Switch
locally,
Online membership will
so
be
that
required
it tracks
to use Game
everybody's
Chat.
faces for like
However,
their reactions.
Since we'd like as many people as possible to experience Game Chat, it will be available without a membership
Game
for a
Chat-
limited time.
Oh wow,
We hope you'll try
that's
it.
interesting.
You have to have a Nintendo Online account.
Oh, I mean, that's part's fine.
Game
I'm
Chat
I'm
supports the
surprised they're gonna
Nintendo
give it
Switch
for
Parental
free
Controls
for a
app.
limited time though.
Different settings can be adjusted. For example, whether
I like
parental
this
permission
is the fact
always
that they
required
are
when a
thinking
child
ahead with the
wants to
parental
use Game
controls.
Chat to play
Mhm.
with their friends.
Well, they sort of have to.
Yeah.
We'd like to introduce another new experience you can share with
I mean,
family and
otherwise you're not
friends.
the family-friendly company of the gaming world.
On Nintendo Switch, even if you just have one game, you can pass a Joy-Con controller to a friend.
Here's a
and
fun
play
one
together.
for you, Eddie.
But on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play together locally on multiple systems using just one game.
Oh, that's
with
good.
Game Share. As shown
Game Share.
here, even games that require multiple screens can be played if one person owns a compatible game. With Game Share, you can temporarily
they
share
do state
compatible
it's
games with
compatible
others who
games.
also have Nintendo Switch 2 or a Nintendo
That's
Switch
fair.
system. You can share a game with up to 3 other systems at a time. Game Share also supports online play with other Switch 2 systems, and you can use it with friends via Game Chat, which we showed earlier. Game Share can only be used with compatible games. This feature is planned for several titles, starting with a free update for Clubhouse Games 51 Worldwide Classics on Nintendo Switch. Game
Yeah,
Share
that's
support is
pretty
also
good.
planned for select games exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2, so we hope you'll look forward to it.
Up next, we'd like to show you the Nintendo Switch 2 system itself.
About time.
Please take a look.
Bigger screen, same thickness.
At 7.9 inches,
man, I was hoping
Switch
for
2 has a bigger
dirt.
built-in screen. Here's how that compares
Joking.
to Nintendo Switch.
That's
the
a good
system's
size.
thickness remains the same.
I'm going to put
With
a caveat
approximately double
because I know you're going to be like super happy about some of the things that they're announcing in this section. But continue, Eddie.
Okay, so
pixels
I think you're gonna add the
compared to
caveat now.
Switch, You can enjoy
No,
games
the caveat's
in greater
later.
detail on the
Gotcha.
1080p screen.
Smooth.
Up
The
to.
screen supports up to
Up to.
120 frames per second, allowing for smoother gameplay in supported titles.
It's good. HDR
LCD
support,
screen
nice.
is more vivid
Which
and
means that it
supports
can do
HDR,
4K.
providing more contrast between light and dark areas of the images. The all-new Joy-Con 2 controllers connect magnetically.
Ah, where was the
Strong
sound effect?
magnets keep the controllers firmly attached to the system. Detach the controller easily by pressing the release button on the back.
Okay, it's good.
There is a latching system, so.
The SL and SR buttons are bigger for greater comfort and
Thank God,
control
okay.
when playing with the
That's good.
Joy-Con 2 held
Here's
horizontally.
a fun fact. Cold touch, because they're metal.
The
Nice.
left and right sticks are now larger.
And hopefully they don't have Joy-Con drift. Jesus.
Well,
Each
They're bigger, which
Joy-Con
means that
2
they get
controller
faster.
can be used as a mouse to play with compatible games. Both the left and
A
right
mutual friend of
Joy-Con
ours
2
goes like,
support
that's
mouse
going to be
controls.
horribly, like, how ergonomic kind of mouse is that going to be?
By adjusting the audio balance
it's
between the
a matter
ranges,
of you
sounds from the
being able
built-in
to at
speakers
all.
are clearer and more natural in handheld and tabletop modes.
This one I found interesting was the audio control
It has a
for
built-in
the
microphone,
pitches.
so you can voice chat with friends anytime via Game Chat. It also uses noise-canceling technology to filter sounds, so your voice will come through clearly.
Bass.
Even if you don't have a surround sound system, games can be enjoyed with more immersive, three-dimensional sound, as if it were coming
compatible
from
games
all
only.
around you.
There's a lot of with compatible games.
That's a
well,
good.
they sort of have to legally state it's not going to be with every title.
That's a good quality of life allowance
Place your
though.
Nintendo Switch 2 however you like with a large, sturdy stand.
Good. Also very
I'm
good.
hoping
Freely,
that's
like
pure
this.
metal too.
2 ports. Yay!
In addition to the USB-C
Apparently we
port
knew
found on the
this.
bottom of the system, there's one on top as well.
I like the confirmation.
So what, you can doubly
It's
charge
handy
it faster?
for connecting a USB-C camera
That's
Or
where they mentioned the
charging in tabletop
USB-C
mode.
camera. Doesn't necessarily need to be the Nintendo camera.
Could also be used for like Bluetooth.
Well, they just
Nintendo
showed
Switch
that you can
2
actually charge
comes
from the
with
top as well.
256 gigabytes of internal storage.
Yay!
This I like.
That of Nintendo Switch for storing your game downloads, save data, and more.
Speaking of which, did they have
Reading
Bluetooth?
and writing
Did they
data
mention that
is
at some point?
Also faster.
That one I did not see anywhere.
Use the
Also,
Nintendo Switch 2
the dock is
to
4K.
connect to your TV and enable up to 4K resolution for compatible games.
Cool.
HDR is also supported in TV mode.
And they put the USBs in a same spot, so.
So I had to buy a new. I obviously probably have to buy a new stand, right? That makes sense. I don't know why I asked.
Well, the new dock literally is a new dock.
The Nintendo Switch 2 dock has a built-in fan that keeps your system cool.
And it's.
This
I'm
helps
pretty sure
keep
the dock is
performance
also
stable.
the one that handles the upscaling to 4K.
Right.
Because of the because if there's active cooling, I think
On
there's a
Nintendo
reason
Switch
why.
2, you can play Nintendo Switch 2 games, as well as compatible Nintendo Switch games. Physical and digital games are supported.
Good. I can continue playing Just Dance. The #1 game I play on my system.
Pretty sure that's not you, Eddie.
That's me. That's all I play in that
Switch
system
2
more than anything
isn't
else.
Simply an improved Nintendo Switch. We redesigned the system from the ground up.
I don't know if you
and
can.
lots
If
of new
it says
gameplay
if,
features.
like a stat for how many hours you played a game, but undoubtedly I've played that more than any other game.
Hardware, we're
I gotta find where that is.
currently developing This game.
It's under your profile.
Mr. Kawamoto.
Hello.
Hi.
My current location is actually inside the game itself.
It's scary.
This is Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour, exclusive to Nintendo
It's
Switch
similar
2.
to Astrobot.
I heard about this.
I'm standing over here. Okay, everyone, join me inside the game.
It's pretty much Astrobot.
There are a lot of question mark icons here. Let's examine them. This sign reads, "Where are the magnets?" The Joy-Con 2 controllers attach to the system with magnets. And those magnets are inside the system. The SL and SR buttons on the Joy-Con 2 are made of metal, so that's how they attach to the system.
Ooh, touch.
A magnetic circuit is formed between them, so they won't easily detach.
Pretty sure there's also a locking
Through examining
system,
signs like these, you can discover all sorts of secrets about Nintendo Switch 2. Another example, the Joy-Con 2 controllers have mouse controls. And when combined with the gyroscopes, you can even do something like this.
Now
You can
they're
adjust the
gonna need
position of the
lap
golf club and
boards.
aim for the cup by rotating the Joy-Con 2. By combining the mouse controls and gyroscopes, things like this are possible. There are secrets to discover, even as you're playing mini-games and
Now you
tech
can
demos.
play.
Some of the
Maracas.
secrets range from the unique features of the system to tiny details you might not notice until they're pointed out.
WarioWare Nintendo Switch 2 Joy-Con
Nintendo
edition.
Switch 2 Welcome Tour will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
That's what that was funny
check it out
that
if
they
you're
make you pay for this experience. I hope it's not
Now,
expensive.
I'd like to share some more information regarding Nintendo Switch 2.
Good, that's why we're here.
This is the game card for Nintendo Switch 2 titles.
They're red instead
It's
of
the
black.
same shape as Nintendo Switch game cards.
They're also
but
just
it's
as
now
bitter.
red, and it has much faster data reading speeds. Next up is additional storage. Switch 2 will only work with micro SD express cards. They're a different type
That's
of
the
SD
problem.
card and will make high-speed data transfers possible.
Wait, why is that a problem? I missed why there was a problem.
Because it's the micro SD Express only.
Oh,
Please note that regular micro SD cards used for Nintendo Switch will not.
and they just explained it. I get it now.
Additionally, to transfer data from Switch to Switch 2, you can log into your Nintendo account to use the System Transfer feature. With this feature, you can transfer save data, digital games, and more.
And
We're
more.
also releasing a new
The Pro
controller.
Pro 2 controller.
It has a C button, which launches Game Chat, and on the back there are new GL and GR buttons, which you can use to assign existing button controls. In addition, an audio jack has been added.
Hey, look! An audio
We've
jack.
introduced a few new features, and after today's presentation, the official Nintendo Switch 2 website will go live. There will also be an Ask the Developer article on the website, where the three of us will talk about the development of Nintendo Switch 2. We hope you'll check that out as well.
And now, the Nintendo Switch 2 launch date. Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th.
June 5th.
We're
Okay.
very much looking
Not too
forward
far
to
away.
the day when you all get to experience it, so please
So,
wait
how about
just
an
a bit
early
longer.
birthday present for me, Eddie?
Sure.
Now,
I don't think you want to agree to that.
on Nintendo Switch 2.
I don't know.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
perfectly
Yeah.
fine with getting a free Switch too.
Yeah, you're gonna be on a list, buddy.
3 types of games.
You're not alone on that list.
The first type is
Or
Nintendo
high on the
Switch
list.
2 games.
I don't know if
Okay.
we're going to have the same
Eddie,
problem as
These games
Rewind a
PS5
little bit.
for this.
Oh,
This is
oh,
rewind a little bit
and
so
features
that you
of
listen to
Switch
this entirely.
okay.
Because this is the
The
caveat.
second type is
Part.
compatible
Hey,
games
why
Okay, sorry.
were released to. These games
mouse controls won't work in the second time? Okay.
now. Broadly speaking, on Nintendo Switch 2, you can play 3 types of games.
Uh-huh.
The first type is Nintendo Switch 2 games. These games take advantage of the performance and features of Switch 2. The second type is compatible games that were released on Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games are the third type. Some games that were released on Switch will receive upgraded versions that offer things like improved visuals, unique ways to play on Switch 2, and more. Now,
That's an
I'd like
important
to show
one.
you the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Super Mario Party Jamboree. Please take a look.
Super Mario Party Jamboree is getting an upgrade on Nintendo Switch 2. The upgrade
God, it's been so
expands
long
on the
since I played a
base
Mario
game and
Party.
adds new features, including mouse
I think I
controls,
played the Wii one.
Play the Switch one with
recognition.
family.
more
Not this one.
explosive rumble,
No, not this one. Like the one like before that.
Oh, the one
and
prior.
gameplay that uses a camera accessory.
Hey, look,
All
it's the
of
return
which
of the
can be
Kinect.
accessed on Switch 2. Let's check out 3 new and updated modes. First up is Mario Party mode. With a single camera, up to 4 players can join the festivities. You'll be able to see each other's faces as you play,
Fantastic.
so you can experience all the reactions and emotions in real time. Or 4 friends can take the party online.
Yeah.
Up
That's
next
funny
is
use of the camera.
Bowser Live, a mode where
I
the
like
livelier
it.
team
It's
wins.
decent.
Bowser will bring you on stage 2. Hit blocks to collect the most coins. Guide an RC car with your voice. Go! And compete in other mini games using full body movement and sound.
That's cute.
Finally,
That's why I
take a
said the
ride
return
on
of
the
the
mouse-controlled carnival coaster. With the safety bar lowered and secured, you're off.
Yoshi, are you even
Use
secured?
mouse controls
Yeah.
to shoot down enemies while you feel the bumps and rumbles of the coaster. When you enter a pipe, a mini-game will begin. There's a bouldering game where 2 players each control an arm, and one where you shake a can of spray paint and quickly tag objects. Enjoy the thrill of these intuitive mini-games. How quickly can you reach the station?
I wonder if
From
we're gonna get a
mini-games that use a
reimagining
camera, the built-in microphone,
Link's crossbow
mouse controls,
training.
and rumble. The biggest party yet is getting even bigger. Super Mario Party
Yeah,
Jamboree,
that's
Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
good use of what they're
plus
introducing.
Jamboree TV launches on Nintendo Switch 2, July 24th.
I don't know if they might go
Nintendo
the
Switch
way
2
of
players who
Link's
already own
crossbow
Super Mario
training.
Party Jamboree can upgrade to Nintendo Switch 2
Here's the
edition
kicker.
plus Jamboree TV by purchasing an
What
upgrade
was the-
pack.
What's the kicker?
Right there. It
Yeah,
says
I-
if you already
Please
own
look-
the game and you want to get the Switch 2 edition of the game, it's a separate purchase unless
Yeah.
you buy the Switch 2 edition outright.
Yeah, that makes
To the
sense.
New Mario Party experience, where you can see each other's reactions.
Especially
while playing.
for this game. It's a whole new it's a DLC, basically.
Wait until you hear
Let's
what
continue
games are
presenting
listed
some
for
more
that.
Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games.
Here we go.
Nintendo Switch 2 editions of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom feature enhanced resolution and frame rates.
See, look, what has Eddie been waiting for all these years?
HDR,
And you have to pay for it.
You mean
Oh,
year?
oh my God! I have to pay for a game, my lord.
No, you have to pay for a game and its expansion unless you buy it outright. And I have the price for it too.
You can get even more out of your adventures in Hyrule.
I really don't know what you're getting at, David. But well, you can explain to me after.
This
My
new
little
feature
tiny
can be
graphic
accessed
here,
via the
'cause
Nintendo
I've been
Switch
kinda
app
waiting
on
on
smart
it.
devices.
Posted in podcast.
It's a game-specific service that's exclusive to the Switch 2 editions of these titles.
Oh, they
For
got a-
example, it can
that's
help
fun.
guide you to various locations, like
Yeah.
shrines and Koroks you
That's
haven't
how much
found
you're
yet.
going to pay
Guidance
for
activated.
if
I
you
haven't-
buy it outright.
I haven't looked. I'm looking at the screen
Proceed
still.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking about the GPS edition?
Yeah, I like GPSs.
Or you can share your creations
People are
using
going like
QR
Hyrule
codes and send them to
GPS.
another player to create in their game.
Oh, I like that too.
That one I did like. Because a lot of people were trying to share their creations, and now it's a lot easier.
We hope these features will make your adventures even
Because
more
instead of
enjoyable.
going to YouTube and look at a guide,
Or trying to find
each
stuff.
individual
In Kirby
piece.
and the Forgotten Land,
Yeah,
you'll be able
and
to
trying to
enjoy
recreate
an
it by
additional
hand.
story exclusive to the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, along with improved graphics and frame rates.
Ooh, a new Kirby. Oh well, no, the Switch.
No, it-
Switch version of the
Switch
Kirby.
to
Sorry.
an edition of
Yeah.
the
Forgotten Land,
Right.
after being
Forgotten
struck
Land.
by a powerful
my bad.
meteor that's causing some mysterious changes. We hope
I
you're
will
looking
state the
forward to
fact
Kirby's
that
new
these
adventure.
Switch 2 editions are... They actually are more expansions
Metroid
as
Prime
well as
4
adding
Beyond
features.
will have both a Nintendo Switch and a Nintendo Switch
So
2
yes,
edition.
Metroid 2 Beyond, it gets a Switch 2 edition.
Of course.
So it's...
Purchase the
In
game
addition
twice.
to standard controls, you can use mouse controls.
Oh, that's
But I
neat.
can also use
gameplay
mouse
on Switch 2.
controls. Oh.
That's kind of neat.
Plus, you can
Speedrunner
explore the
attack.
immersive world in 4K at 60 frames per second, or enjoy smoother action in full HD.
I wonder
at
if they're going to
120
actually make
frames
a
per second.
Switch 2 mouse now.
Choose from these two modes,
Going
both
off
which
of what
support
you were
HDR,
saying earlier,
based on
Asher,
your
about
preference and
ergonomics.
playstyle.
Here's the fun fact.
Plus,
when I was watching
Pokemon
with our
Legends
mutual friend
ZA,
this morning,
which is scheduled to
live,
launch later this year,
we
will not
kept
only
making the
receive
joke
a
of,
Nintendo
"Where's
Switch
Mario
version, but a
Paint?"
Nintendo Switch 2
Yeah.
edition as well.
Maybe it's a matter of time.
By taking advantage of the power
Mario
of Switch 2,
Photoshop.
you can enjoy
Sponsored
your
by
adventure
Adobe.
in Lumio City with enhanced resolution
Legends
and frame
Z
rates.
2A is also getting a Switch 2 edition.
The Nintendo Switch 2 edition
Again,
games you just
this
saw
isn't
will be
anything new.
available
This has
as
been
both
happening
physical
ever since
and
the
digital versions.
Yeah.
So
Literally
did-
between the difference between the GameCube and the Wii.
Did they mention what the upgrade cost is?
They
Or is
have
it ju-
only mentioned what the cost is for buying the game outright.
Okay.
Not
Right, I mean,
purchasing it on, say, the Switch at launch or whatever, or having an old copy and then upgrading it so you can access the digital Switch 2 version.
In this case, from the way it's described, it sounds like basically if you buy a physical copy of a Switch 2 edition of the game, you basically get a Switch copy with all the Switch 2 stuff built into the cart.
Okay.
Whereas if you're like somebody like me, if you already own the copy, let's say Tears of the Kingdom, you buy all the download and it's stored on the console. But apparently there's been supposedly like, oh, there's going to be patches that put those like identifiers on the console to recognize if you're using a Switch 1 or a Switch 2 edition. And
Yeah.
that's the thing that goes like, okay, so what happens to people that don't have the internet? and they want to play the Switch 2 edition, but they have the original game. How's that going to work?
Yes, I have no idea.
And so, obviously, the thing that you're like, oh yeah, David, it's going to have like 60 frames per second. I have to admit, yes, they are going to do that with Tears of the Kingdom.
Of course
But
they were.
you're going to pay for it.
Of course I am.
And you want to know the price of it?
$80. Yeah, that's
$80.
That was one of the things that's been spoiled for me
Yeah.
before now is the prices, which we were also talking a little bit before we started recording. So
yeah, the one thing I noticed in that graphic that I showed you is that all the Switch 2 editions are basically roughly about $10 more than they normally would cost, except for maybe Kirby.
now, have they showed a purely Switch 2 game that isn't an upgrade? No, I guess that wouldn't matter.
Right,
I guess
crossover essentially.
I guess what I was asking is that should we expect new games to be $80 now from Nintendo?
No,
or maybe first party games or.
Admittedly, I'm being a little cautious about this because in that little tiny graphic I showed you, there are 2 Switch 2 exclusive games on there. One of which is a spoiler for later. But I'm going to use Mario Kart World as a point of reference. Is that I don't think... I think Mario Kart World, being the way that it was made, they are putting it at that price point because I feel like they're trying to recoup the costs. I don't think every first-party game, Switch 2, is going to be $70 to $80.
Except that I can already see Kirby and Zelda on that list, and Jamboree. Well, Jamboree was an expansion.
AAA titles are already $70.
Right. Well, but now it's $80.
Yeah, everything that I posted, so Zelda, both of them, are the Switch 2 editions. Those are the expansions.
Okay.
Kirby is also one.
I guess I should show off what I'm talking about.
You possibly shouldn't look at this because spoilers, you know?
I mean...
Let's... Anyway, I
just wait until after the thing because this is going to be a long podcast regardless.
Right. Okay, so we'll just continue on.
And
anyway, the point is that I know the first game I'm going to buy on my Switch 2 is Tears of the Kingdom because that's what I've been patiently waiting for all this year.
If you already own
but
the
you
Nintendo
can't play
Switch
it at
version of the
4K.
game, you can play the Nintendo Switch 2 edition.
I didn't need to play it 4K.
We hope you're looking forward to these
1080 is
Nintendo
perfectly
Switch
fine.
2 edition games.
I'm going to pause right here for just a quick moment.
I'd like to...
You want me to
Not
pause?
to argue about it, but just... This is what I hope it to be priced at versus what I fear it's going to be priced at.
What do you mean? Sorry.
I'm hoping that the expansions at a maximum are going to be about $10.
Oh, to go from Switch to Switch 2 edition?
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. If it was $5, okay. But my fear is they're going to be $20 to $30.
What was the cost of your original Tears of the Kingdom?
The base price of the Tears of the Kingdom, I'm excluding mine because I got a collector's edition.
Okay.
Was $70.
Okay, so $10 would make sense. Any more than that would seem a little wild.
Yeah. But that's the thing is that Kirby was a $60 game. And
oh, yeah, there you go.
That's why I am worried.
So. I didn't catch it, but at least that one they're expanding upon it, right? There's a expansion to Kirby, right?
The Switch 2 editions do add more content on top of improvements.
Okay, so that might be the justification there.
Yeah, for Kirby, that one it's that, but they're also adding stuff, including a Zelda-focused storyline to Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay.
Introduce a brand new game.
And if they're doing that,
just Kirby.
That makes me happy too.
Game featuring mouse controls with the Joy-Con 2 controllers. Please take a look.
So, where's Mario Paint? Yeah, I saw that so many times too. So I'm not the originator of that.
I'm sure if enough people say it, it'll
yes,
come to fruition.
Handicap sport, Wii Sports Handicapped Edition. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, yeah, no.
This seems to be a very strange,
tech demo.
Well, demolition derby, if you will.
I heard some people compare it to Rocket League to a degree.
Well, I like how you can wave with the Wiimote,
Well,
Joy-Con.
It makes sense
Yeah.
because like you're swapping between motion to and mouse controls.
Not to mention there's good reasons to do that, like obviously signaling to your other friends or perhaps faking out people.
So it's basically, this is essentially the like Wii Sports or
In Drag
other
and Drive,
things
you'll use
like
both
on prior
Joy-Con 2
consoles.
controllers as mice to intuitively
That's a
pull
pretty
off various
fun
moves.
concept.
It
We
is a
hope
good
you're looking
concept.
forward to it.
No surprise from Nintendo.
3-on-3 matches using dual mouse controls. Next, here are some games from our publishing and development partners coming to Nintendo Switch 2.
Now here's the big ones.
This is another thing I got spoiled on.
Long observed the lands between.
Elden
Dragon
Ring?
Ring?
Nope, not close, but no. I got spoiled about the other specific thing.
Well, yes, I know about the other specific thing. It's hard to avoid that because of the
Yeah.
height.
The rays of grace that guide you through
Or
your
the
path.
empty
Admittedly, this is one of those like, but I already beat it on like PCs/Xbox/PlayStation. Why do it?
I have no doubt.
My thoughts are
Because you want to play Elden Ring on the go.
go, and not everybody has a Steam Tech,
May you take the throne.
or they want a Steam Tech.
Tarnished
Tarnished
edition.
edition.
That's an awful name for your edition, by the way, but okay.
Hey,
I
I'm
mean-
Greg Sutton from Supergiant Games. Here to say that Hades
was
2
this
is
spoiled
coming
for
to
you?
Nintendo Switch
Ooh, no,
2.
this wasn't.
Our first ever sequel introduces the
Me
Princess
and our
of the
mutual
Dead,
friend
an immortal witch out
watched
to
something
vanquish
last
the
night about
sinister
somebody's
titan of
predictions,
time.
and they mentioned that
Battle
Hades
beyond
2
the
would be a
underworld
good
to the
idea
ends
for
of
it.
the earth.
Oh, yeah, this is
Getting to
fun.
know
This
dozens
is
of
good.
characters
Good on
from
them.
Greek myth,
Good get.
a story
Good get.
that reacts to your every setback and victory. It's the kind
I mean,
of
I
game
haven't played any of
quickly pick up and play
the
whether you
alpha
experience
at all.
the original or not.
Are they
For more
still?
about
I thought they
Hades
were
2,
still kind of in
later
an
this
alpha
year.
beta state.
They probably are. I haven't
Early
touched it.
access.
Early access, yeah.
我々がお届けするタイト
Ooh,
ルは
what you got, Capcom?
ストリートファイター
Street Fighter, which was in that little graphic that I showed you.
本体を
Oh, I wasn't paying that much
もちろん
attention.
Yeah.
任天堂スイッチ2だけの新モードもあります
But I mean, that's
ソ
good.
フトは
Yeah,
通常版
classic game to bring to the
26 キ
Switch.
ャラクターを収録した Years 1-2 ファイターズエディションの2バージョン
Years
さら
1 to
に
2,
ゲームと
Fighters
連動する
Edition,
アミーボとアミーボカードも一緒にスイ
And
ッチ
they're-
2の発売日にお届
Okay,
け
they're doing
Amiibos!
official Amiibo cards. Okay.
Initiating Arsenal boot sequence. Weapon safety
Ah,
mechanism
this.
confirmed. All operating at normal levels.
Oh, I like this
Testing
voice
data
actor.
with spine. Normal. Commencing launch.
They were in Astral Chain too.
After 2 long wars where our freedom was restricted,
But this is not Astral
we
Chain.
will finally be liberated from humans.
Oh,
I'm in need of a new arsenal, new equipment,
This is fun.
and money. I'm for sale, and you're buying.
Rebels! Thanks for the warm welcome! This planet will be ours.
The sovereign axiom. The Trinitas.
I am going to be
has
trying to get
almost
this game.
completed a weapon that was created to destroy all humanity.
No! Because we're in the middle of a war. Don't you get it?
I won't just stop you. I'll tear you apart! All children bring
Does it
hope
say
to
the
our
Next Machina?
lives. Don't they?
Which is
Titanic
crazy.
Scion.
Hey, this is Joseph Fares from Hazelight. I'm super excited for Split Fiction to come to Nintendo Switch 2.
Ah, well, yeah.
The game is a story
Good call.
about friendship. You play as
I
Neil,
mean,
who writes sci-fi,
it makes sense,
Zoe,
and
who writes
it is
fantasy.
a new game.
Together,
Mm-hmm.
they get trapped in their own stories.
And I've seen
And
some
it's
good
up to
stuff
you and a
about it,
friend
too.
to help them break free. Now, let me tell you this: if you like It Takes Two, you're gonna love this one. Trust me. And of course, you'll be able to play Split Fiction on the day Switch 2 launches.
At EA Sports, We're bringing fans together
yes,
across the
sports
world,
ball.
both on the pitch and on the gridiron. We're excited to announce the EA Sports FC will be coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Madden NFL will also be arriving on the Nintendo platform. EA Sports.
Good.
The game.
Makes sense.
Hi, I'm Alan Tu from Avalanche Software. We are bringing Hogwarts Legacy to Nintendo Switch 2.
Impressive.
With enhanced graphics and seamless world transitions, you'll be immersed in the Wizarding world like never before. And the new mouse controls on Switch 2 give you even more ways to experience the adventure.
Things like this make it that in Elden Ring make it feel like this. Does this have PS4 level
launches on the same
graphics?
A lot of people are estimating it to be roughly about PS4 level. Yes. This is where the first difference came between the two. English got Tony Hawk. Japan got a different game that I had heard about because it was on the 3DS, but it wasn't a very popular game outside of Japan. I'm just trying to remember the name of it. And I was kind of pissed because, like, I'd rather know about the other one. Tony Hawk is like, it's just Tony Hawk.
A SpongeBob level.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Hello, this is Christian Elverdam from IO Interactive.
Didn't some of the old Tony Hawks might have
We're
a
bringing
SpongeBob
our
level?
flagship title,
I don't recall.
World of Assassination,
I think
to
one of the old
Nintendo
Tony
Switch
Hawks
2.
had, one of them
As the best
technically had
assassin in the trade,
a,
Agent 47 does everything he can to
Metal Gear
accomplish his
Solid
mission.
level.
And how each mission progresses will vary depending on the player's imagination.
Getting savaged by a
Our
hippo.
ever-expanding
I've never
game
played these
will
games, but I
release
need
the
to.
same day as
I
Switch
just have
2.
never done it before.
Plus,
I've
we are
heard they're
excited
decent
to bring
games,
another
but they're
familiar
not
agent to the platform.
my type of game, no offense. Now, can you guess what this is?
Is that another Hitman game?
Oh,
No.
Bond.
NPX got it.
Oh, really? I thought, yeah, there it is.
It should have been obvious if you're looking at the wrong side.
I thought it was too obvious.
James Bond. The world's favorite spy is coming
But,
to Nintendo Switch
I mean,
2, so
this is a
stay
great
tuned.
developer to
the
make
guys
a James Bond
by
game.
Making Bond makes sense,
Yeah,
actually.
makes so much sense.
Light and shadow
Here's the one that
never
surprised
fades,
everybody.
Is reborn.
Bravely
Bravely
Default
Default
2.
returns.
No,
remastered in high
Bravely
definition.
Default.
Oh.
Featuring the Bravely
Because
Default
Switch had
commands
Bravely
that
Default
help
2.
you control the flow of turn-based battles. Change and customize
So they're
jobs
finally
to build out
putting
your
Bravely
very own
Default
party.
on something not
Enjoy
3DS.
your adventure with upgraded features and
Admittedly, I
enhancements.
saw some people like,
And
oh,
all
this
new
looks
minigames
garbage. It's like,
with unique ways to play.
It's literally a game over
Square
10
Enix
years old.
presents the classic
On a
fantasy
very
RPG,
low-powered console.
Bravely Default
Right.
Flying Fairy HD Remaster. Set foot in Luxembourg.
but I'm
as a
happy.
warrior of
I'm
light
actually
once
happy
more.
about that.
This is a good one.
セガ龍が如くスタジオ代表の横山です。我々がお送りするタイトルは
Another series that I need to play at some point.
誓いの場所
Maybe I need to
カット
force myself to play it on stream.
1988年東京
Which
大阪2つの
I
歓楽
would
街を
probably
舞台
say,
に
like, do you want to play the old style or do you want to play the new style?
The new
伝説の
style.
始まりを追加シーン
Okay,
と
so
とも
which
に
one?
Everything after Like a Dragon.
発売日は Nintendo Switch 2の発売と
Okay, so you probably want to do...
Or Like a Dragon and after, I should say.
ご期待くださ
So
い。
basically 8 and...
I would say the
We'll have
biggest
more
problem
games
is
to
the later
show from
numbers
our
are
publishing
more
and
story
development
confusing.
partners.
Sort of,
But
you
for
can
now,
play,
we'd
like,
like to show a
1 and
game
2
being developed in
stuff.
collaboration with Nintendo.
Didn't they
Please
remake
take
one
a
of those?
Oh,
Yes, they've remade a lot of the earlier ones.
important. Big important.
Wait, Tecmo?
KT.
Wait, they're actually putting this on this side?
When the
They're
Zonai
putting it
had
on the
descended from the
Switch
heavens,
too.
joined hands with the Hylians,
Because they're
who
doing
dwelled on the
another one.
surface. Their union led to a great and prosperous kingdom. But in time, a terrible evil arose.
Spoilers! This is some shit from Tears of the
A war
Kingdom.
was fought to vanquish this evil, one which future generations would call
Is it what I think it is?
the
It's pretty
Imprisoning
obvious,
War.
isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I was putting it all together.
Perhaps you truly have traveled back in time.
So, spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom.
Should I stop listening?
Hyrule Castle. Then
Katie's most hated
that must
plot
mean this
contrivance.
really is the past.
But yeah,
When done poorly. But who's done it better than the Zelda series?
Chrono Trigger.
Arguably, yes.
Okay.
But yeah, we are getting
Oh.
Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah. I've only
Hyrule Warriors.
I've only played the demo of the one for the
Wii U.
No, the one that was set in Age of Calamity.
Okay.
But I've been meaning to buy it. So now that I see they're making a sequel, I'm totally gonna buy Calamity and Imprisonment. So yeah. This is up my alley.
That was Hyrule
And since
Warriors
it's the
Age
Switch,
of
it gives you
Imprisonment.
time to play Tears of the Kingdom.
It's
Yes!
being developed by Koei Tecmo Games
If he gets the
with
Switch.
support from Nintendo.
I already
Surprisingly very.
We hope
Spoiler,
you're
I already
looking
took
forward to
action.
the untold story of the imprisoning war.
I'm not taking
And that's
action
not
for this.
necessarily
Long
guaranteed
ago.
success.
right.
And now, some news about Nintendo Switch Online.
Okay,
Tell
here's
us
You
more.
can continue to enjoy Nintendo Switch Online on Switch 2.
because they are.
And with Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack, you can enjoy a new membership benefit exclusively on Switch 2. Please take a look at this.
And this surprised a lot of people too. But it
Nintendo
also,
Switch
I
Online
saw
Plus
some people
expansion pack will
cry
be
it out
getting
in
a
pain.
new classic game library exclusive to Nintendo Switch 2. Nintendo GameCube, originally released in 2001. Here are the titles that will be available at launch. A Legend of Zelda game that
Because
looks
this
like
means
a
that
cartoon
there's
come
no
to
going to
life
be
through
like
cell
Switch
shading.
port of the
Controlling
HD
the
Wind
wind using a
Waker
mysterious baton,
for
Link sets
Switch
sail
2.
on an adventure across the Great Sea.
hate it.
The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker.
It would be very difficult to make an
Transcending
HD remake
history
of that
and
game.
the world.
Yeah!
A tale of souls
Oh,
and
yes.
swords
Can't wait.
eternally retold.
Yeah!
In this 3D weapons-based fighting game, each fighter comes equipped with a
It's
different
Come on,
weapon.
just show it.
And Link from the Legend of
the
Zelda series
GameCube
enters
version.
the fray. Soul Calibur 2.
I mean,
Experience a world
Wind
of
Waker
white-knuckle
Link would
racing
be
at speeds
devious.
over 2,000 kilometers
One
per
thought
hour.
I had
30 machines will put it all on the
last
line
night while I
in
was
death-defying
finding sleep
races.
was
Featuring the
game
series first,
IPs that
machine
Nintendo could bring
customization
back,
and story mode.
and
Get
somehow
ready
my
to
mind just
experience
fixated on F-Zero.
F-Zero GX.
F-Zero would
Games
be a
that
good
support
IP to bring
multiplayer,
back,
Up to 4 can play together locally.
but
or
I
online.
think Mario Kart is going to
Enjoy these classic
fill that
games with
slot.
clearer image quality and higher resolution than the original releases. You can also check the controls for each title and customize them to your liking.
Yes, customized controls.
More
Yay!
titles will be added in the future.
Chibi Robo.
Nintendo GameCube, Nintendo Classics, the Switch 2 exclusive game library coming to Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack launches the same day as the hardware's release.
Nice. Okay. Nice.
And a dedicated controller designed after the original GameCube controller will also be released. It can connect wirelessly and also has a C button to quickly access Game Chat. The Nintendo
And
GameCube
I
controller,
saw a lot of people hoping
exclusively
that
available
it
for
comes in
Nintendo
more than
Switch
just purple.
Online members, will also be
Don't worry,
available
it
the
has
same
stick
day
drift
as
as well.
Nintendo Switch 2.
But the
Whether
GameCube
you're
was
familiar
so good
with the
at not
games
having.
or haven't played them before,
that was the GameCube controller.
we hope you're
This
looking
is the
forward to
imitation
Nintendo
GameCube
GameCube,
controller.
Nintendo Classics.
From Nintendo.
Of course, you can continue to play select games from the systems shown here on Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, let's see some more games from our publishing and development partners.
Now this is where some people missed some stuff, and this is when the stream died, by the way.
Ooh, really? Oh, there we go. Some people are super happy now.
Guess who was probably in that suit?
I haven't played Deltarune yet, so I should.
I haven't, but I've been trying to reach out to Mackenzie to let her know about this. But yeah. Episodes 3 and 4. And yeah, I think a lot of people say that Toby Fox was in the dog costume.
Hi, I'm Randy from Gearbox.
Hi, Randy.
Borderlands 4, our upcoming flagship Borderlands game, will launch
it's
on
coming to
Nintendo
Switch
Switch 2.
Yep.
Borderlands is back. Loot and shoot your way through a
We're not
world
even
filled
bringing
with
3
wild
in?
enemies and outrageous weapons. We're still in
They don't want to
development,
give a
and
bad
it's already
rap.
the most ambitious
Just yet.
Borderlands game we've ever made. Borderlands 4 will launch
It
in
does look
2025.
impressive, I will state that.
We'll be sharing a lot of the game in the months
I'm
ahead, and there's more
just
from 2K on
wondering if that's...
Hi, I'm Dennis Shirk from Firaxis.
Yes.
We're releasing a Nintendo Switch 2 edition of Sid Meier's Civilization 7. In Civ 7, you'll establish an empire and guide your people throughout the ages of history. With the new mouse controls, players can enjoy a more intuitive gameplay experience. Civ 7 launches on the same day as Switch 2. And if you already own the Nintendo Switch version, you can experience mouse controls on Switch 2 by purchasing the upgrade.
There it is again.
And we have
Purchasing the upgrade.
even more news from 2K.
Hi, I'm Lionel Jinks.
And I'm Ben Bishop.
Our final announcement for today is that WWE 2K is coming to
I was
Nintendo
waiting for
Switch
that.
2.
Plus NBA 2K as well.
We can't wait to see you in the ring.
And on the court.
I'm not, like, I understand people love that game, but it's like...
4 kids
I
find
don't play it, but I expected it.
Off they went armed with nothing but youthful enthusiasm and a profound lack of preparation.
Admittedly, I'm...
Terrible at
What was weird was the stream died. The way that it died was that,
Awesome!
the video kept going, but the audio, like, there was zero audio. Whatsoever.
Tastes
Okay.
amazing, doesn't it?
So I just continued to let it go, but
Really have started to master this.
it was one of those, like,
Next stop,
ugh.
the top.
Because, like, to actually pinpoint it, it was, like, right around here when
I
the
think
thing
that's
froze
everything.
for, like, a
Let's
good
set sail. This time
7
for
to
home.
10 seconds solid.
Hi, I'm Dave Crooks from Dodge Roll.
Hello.
Here's the first look at Enter the Gungeon 2.
Ooh, okay. Nice.
Dodge countless bullets and aim for the Gungeon's depths in our roguelike shooter sequel. Now reloaded in a new 3D art style. You can expect some fan favorite elements to return. We're still working on the game, and we're excited to share more with you in the future.
Talk about bullet hell.
Yeah. Get him! Get him!
Astronaut.
Yeah. I think this was also the one that was different from JP and Ian. Was I think Astroneer was different. Astroneer was not in the JP. I just can't recall what it was in JP.
Growl.
Oh, Star Seeker.
The Astroneer Expedition.
Expeditions? So it's
Yeah.
a different game?
I
Hello,
think it's a
my name
variation.
is Adam Badowski from CD Projekt Red. We are delighted to bring the immersive world of the dark future to Nintendo players for the first
Hey,
time.
look, Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk
2077 for
is
Switch
an
2.
open-world action-adventure RPG set in
I mean,
Night City.
considering they were
Thanks to
promising to
Nintendo
put this
Switch
on the
2, you can
PS3 and that
transport
was
yourself to the
a
city
terrible
of dreams at
experience.
home or on the go. Get ready to
Even
meet
the PS4
unforgettable
edition was
characters
garbage.
and discover engaging stories when Cyberpunk
You gotta hope that they
2077
optimized it this time.
Ultimate Edition comes to Nintendo
They've had enough
Switch
time to
2.
optimize.
Actually, that's right. That was a PS4, not
こんにちは。
PS3.
スクエアエニックスの浜口です。
I mean, they announced it when the PS3 was actually.
Nintendo
And
Switch 2
do you want to play
Final Fantasy
another
7
copy of 7,
インター
Eddie?
グレードを
No.
発売いたします
I already have to buy it again for the PC.
脱出までを描いた
He'll buy it again
3
once
作
it's
シリーズの
cheap.
1作目となり
You know, 10 years
20
from now.
年以上の時
But yeah.
No, remember? No, I'm gonna stream it, so I have to buy it at some point.
体験いただけます
But yeah, Retrograde is going to be on
スイッチ
Switch
2で展
2.
開する
That's good.
FF7 リメイクシリーズに
So
ぜひ
I'm kind of happy about that. But it was like, huh. And now variations, and keep a close eye on what they show here. Because they're going to show some more games.
Oh, okay. Oh, this one's an Xbox, so I probably don't need it, but...
I've seen this, actually. It's pretty interesting.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Oh, hey, Silk Song.
Hey.
Hey, shut it, bug game. Shut it. Back off. Metroid Prime waited longer, motherfuckers. Eat
That's
your humble pie.
2025. Let's see if they make the landing.
Don't be a hater, David.
No, I'm pissed off at the fact that they're going like, nobody's as like bad as it's like, shut it. We Metroid Prime fans have waited, and we did so patiently.
They still own the IP of
Metro.
So yeah,
Metro Prime fans also have a whole franchise of games to play already, and you got Dread. So I don't know if you should be talking shit, Asher. So shut up, man.
No, I'm complaining about the fact that they're constantly like, it's like, shut it, man. Just
that's what I'm
tweet it
telling
out
you.
like like us Metroid fans.
Yeah, the Metro fans who had Dread in between the last time they got Beyond and have a whole franchise of games to play. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know where you're coming from, buddy.
They could just simply play some other Metroidvanias, you know.
yeah, dime a dozen.
The Hollow Knight
I'm
could go
referring
play
to the
Super
Hollow Knight
Metroid.
Yeah, poor Hollow Knight fans have only Hollow Knight, so that's the only thing I'm trying to say.
Yeah, whatever.
Wait, what else they got?
They can play other Metroidvania games.
Okay.
Like Super Metroid.
Okay, Asher, if anyone had told you that about Prime, would that be an acceptable answer? Come on.
I would try a game.
Too many Metroid first-person shooters.
Yeah, there's actually not. I mean, like the closest thing I could probably think of is Portal 2.
I think it's also funny that with all the desire for this game, it's just in a montage as opposed to dedicated. Yeah,
I think they were hoping people would not pay too close of attention. This we did see already. This is new.
Good Point Museum, yeah.
Wild Hearts S Edition. I think they're hoping for a revival because, obviously, Monster Hunter Wilds. New Rune Factory, which our mutual friend was interested in. Marvel Comic Invasion.
Of course, a fair amount of these are just simply, brought over.
Yeah.
So. Oda Nobunaga?
Nobunaga! And
Fusion.
This was probably the closest I was like, oh hey, we did kind of get F-Zero?
We have F-Zero at home.
Well, a lot of these are just simply confirmations from the previous one.
Yeah. This one's kind of new, but it's not new to... Yeah, it's new to Nintendo, but I don't think it's new.
I was gonna say this looks like that other game.
It probably is.
Little.
Yeah.
Little Nightmares.
Yes, that's the same creator, right? Oh, it's not. So it's not the same creator. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
No, Bandai Namco is
or could it be a FromSoft situation?
That's a different one.
Ridge Racer.
Human Fall Flat 2.
We've shown a lot of games so far. The next game will be the last from our publishing and development partners.
Oh, so this
from the last third party.
So this can be only one thing then. Yeah, it looks like
it's the one you probably said like you got spoiled on.
Yeah.
I have more information on it, but let's watch the trailer first.
Airs.
Hand, what are you doing? Stop! Bad touch! Bad hand! Stop!
I give you
So lewd.
my blood. I give you my
I
life.
wonder how many people thought this was going to be
Something else.
well, I'm thinking of
Bloodborne?
And
the GameCube
transport
game.
him
Oh, Eternal Darkness?
to a night
Yes.
of moonlight.
God. When are we gonna get
To
that?
humanity's very dark.
Never.
Sad.
Hey, that guy's got a problem.
That's a stigmata.
I mean, his skin is pretty gray.
From who?
Wait, that literally is Yarnum.
But they've now been steampunkified.
Industrial Revolution.
Now you can see why I was going like, wait, Bloodborne 2?
You don't understand. That was literally the Yarnum Church. Oh no. It's Dung Eater's younger brother.
Don't be Steam Knight.
Wow. Wow.
Hello, Yoko
Taro. Cameo?
Yeah.
Yoko Taro, what are you doing in this game?
Oh no, this is a nightmare. Oh, Jesus.
So, at this point, I'm gonna give some heads up on this, and it's, ugh.
Yeah, that's a different basilisk.
But the official video for this on Nintendo's
as befits the soon to depart.
I pray that
have
you are
stated
able
it to be a
carrier of
PvP battle royale.
Wait, what?
Yep.
It's literally the new Elden Ring thing, but now
Yeah.
on Switch.
No.
But it's Bloodborne-esque.
It's not the same thing as Night Rain.
I don't know. The way David just described it to me, it sounded like Night Rain.
8 players go in, and it's PvE.
One alone.
Pajama Man.
Duskbloods.
Side note, Bloodborne is actually finally getting released on Xbox and PC. Sony has finally decided to release it.
Oh, okay. That's a big deal.
Why does the mouse have wings?
It's a flying rat. And by that, I mean...
Literally.
A... seagull!
So Nintendo scored a FromSoft exclusive. I wonder what they paid for that.
What you just saw was a brand new game by From Software. We'll be publishing a creator's voice article where the game's director, Hidetaka Miyazaki, will share more details about the game.
Oh man,
so please check it out.
that worries me.
What does?
Because like when I heard that it was like PvE and a battle royale, it's like Miyazaki can't have done this.
That's all from our publishing and
apparently
development partners.
He has.
We'd like to
and
thank the developers who appeared today, as well as our publishing and development partners who prepared footage for this presentation.
So that's all the partners.
In addition to what you saw today, our partners are working on many games coming to Nintendo Switch 2. We'll showcase more games in the future, so we hope you're looking forward to it. Next, please take a look at this.
And this is the final game, I believe. Oh, no, this is not the final game. So, can you guess what this one is?
Kingdom Hearts.
Kirby.
Okay, Kirby. But what Kirby?
I don't know. You're asking a non-Kirby fan, but who can recognize a stupid star when he sees one. It's so nice that works for Kirby.
Right.
Turbo. So, we are getting the sequel to Kirby Air Ride. Yours. And guess who is in charge of it?
Makes sense.
Yep, it's
Kirby's
Air Ride,
his, which originally released on the Nintendo GameCube system over 20 years ago, is getting a brand new game. We hope you're looking forward to Kirby Air Riders, directed by Masahiro Sakurai.
We're done forcing him to make Smash games.
So he's going back to making
Is our
Kirby
last
games.
trailer for today. Please take a look.
This is
Well,
the
if you
final
haven't noticed, they did not announce a new Smash. Or am I going to be proved a liar?
No.
I hadn't heard anything.
Although this did cause a bit of controversy, but not one you'd expect.
Oh, okay. I know what this is.
You guess what the controversy is?
Nope.
Ants.
It's his design.
Oh, that's the controversy?
A lot of people are going like, this is not our DK, and I'm looking at it going like, this is like DK from the 80s. I'm kind of like it. Because it makes him more expressive.
Yeah, it's a fine design.
I mean, the expressions are, well, I would say irrelevant to his pantsness.
Although I had seen some people go like, this is not DK. DK doesn't wear suspenders. And then the next thing I saw is,
But it's not.
I think Cranky Kong wears suspenders.
actually Cranky Kong does wear suspenders.
This looks like a lot of fun. Bonanza. Yeah, good name.
Is
There's a different Donkey Kong.
yeah, and that's why I'm going like,
That was a brand new 3D platforming action game starring Donkey Kong, called Donkey Kong Bonanza. With incredible strength, smash through enemies, walls, the ground, and just about everything as you
And mining
demolish your way
regulations.
through a massive underground world.
OSHA.
More details will be shared in the future.
But this
We
is
hope you're looking
DK's
forward to
universe. There's no such thing as those.
It's actually it's MSHA for mines. Mines have their own OSHA called MSHA.
To recap,
Okay, real life factoid.
Yep.
Nintendo Switch 2 launches on June 5th. Finally, here are the hardware options that will be available at launch. We'll release Nintendo Switch 2, as well as a bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World.
It's an extra $50.
For more details,
It's kind of a
please
steal.
check the official Nintendo Switch 2 website, which goes
Relatively
live
speaking.
later today.
Comparatively speaking.
We've covered a lot of information, but that's all we have to share for today.
You'll have to wait just a bit longer for launch. We're very much looking forward to everyone being able to experience Nintendo Switch 2.
We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you very much.
So, Nintendo did release actual price points for everything on their website, and this is where I'm going to go into a tiny rant. And the tiny rant is the factor that I saw several articles claiming that the base console was $500 and the games were $80 to $90 each. Looking a bit deeper into it, and I'm going to point Forbes out on this, is the factor that they stated 80 to 90 euros for the games. And Nintendo's own website posted that the highest cost was going to be $80 USD for a game. Obviously, some of the ones listed are Mario Kart World, Tears of the Kingdom, Switch 2 edition. As for the price cost, it's $450.
Mm-hmm.
The $500 edition is the one that we mentioned was kind of a steal, which was the bundle with Mario Kart World. Basically, you're paying an extra $50 for World.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm a little peeved in the factor that every place was reporting that the base console was $500 and the games were $80 to $90. I'm pissed at that. I'm a little sad that the cost of the games is kind of high.
Right.
But as my little graphic shows, Bravely Default's going to be $40 as a launch title.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be digital only.
No, there's going to be a physical copy.
Where did they say that?
It's on Nintendo's website, I believe. Let me bring it up. Okay, shop. Games. Coming soon. See if I can find it. Platform. Okay, I can't get it listed on Nintendo's own website. See here, maybe Square Enix's. Trying to find video games. Okay, Nintendo Switch, maybe. Okay, not a lot of things are listing it, but I swear I saw that it wasn't a digital only. It was going to get a physical copy.
The Bravely Default.
The Bravely Default. Actually, there's one last place I could check. Amazon. So Bravely Default 2. Wait, no, Bravely Default. Let's see here.
I just realized that I have text on the screen and I need to zoom in because otherwise I'm not legible to anyone who's watching this video.
Amazon has failed me. So,
so yeah, a lot of stuff we've already said. $4.99 for the base, $4.99 if you want the bundle, which is like a $30 savings for
I'm
Mario
guessing
Kart.
you're looking at the Forbes thing.
Mm-hmm.
Also, make sure to bring up the Nintendo one just as a point of reference.
I couldn't find the Nintendo one.
The Nintendo one's posted above that. The Forbes one.
Oh, I was just Googling. I didn't even look at that.
Go into news. It's because I posted the Forbes one. It should be just a couple of like a page up because it's from the official Nintendo one. If you scroll all the way down, it has all the prices. They're quite literally at the very bottom. It's basically a text version of what went down.
Oh, okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, $4.99 Nintendo Switch. $4.99 for the bundle. Otherwise, it's 80 for Mario Kart on its own. 70 for
And
Donkey Kong.
this is where I got my information about how much the camera was, which was $49, aka $50.
Oh man, the Pro controller's kind of pricey.
$10 less than the Joy-Con 2 pair. Which,
yeah, they're really getting their money's out of that one. Yeah, don't lose or break your Joy-Cons, people. Otherwise, it'll cost you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. The camera, $50. The dock itself is 109.
110.
Carrying case and protector.
All-in-one carrying case. And AC adapter, $30.
So there's going to be a lot of extras one might want to buy on top of the $450 they're going to have to spend. So, yeah. This was I budgeted for this. I was ready for this. I made sure there was at least $600. I think I even put $650 at the end, set aside for Switch purchases. And that was a good call.
Obviously, I can't say that I was planning to purchase a Switch 2. As of right now, it's going like I'm going to have to see if I can after a couple of weeks due to various financial reasons.
Yeah. Life.
Life, but at least it's looking up right now.
Yeah, and like I said before, I did put in as the first thing I did this morning is I saw a link to put in a quote unquote pre-order. I mean, not pre-order, but lack of a better term, sign up for the pre-order. I guess I signed up for that legally split because I qualify for it. I guess given the different rules they have for that. Yeah, like you said earlier, doesn't guarantee anything for me at all. But yeah, I put my name in anyway.
Obviously, from my thing is that I'm sad that it's going to be expensive, especially with the factor that they have not stated how much you're going to have to pay for the upgrades for the Switch 2 editions.
Yeah, at this point, you're right. Like we were discussing, it's probably gonna be $10, $20. Wild.
$10 is kind of like the price that it's like I would love to pay that, but comparing Kirby and its Switch 2 edition is like Switch 2 edition is like $80 if you buy the complete Switch 2 edition.
Although I guess the maybe the sense about that one is that it looks like that Kirby game is more than just a graphical update. It looks like there's content update with that.
And I keep saying that all of the Switch 2 editions, they're putting enough effort to be like that Kirby one, where there's more than just graphical quality of life. There's actual extra content to them. So when comparing, like, let's say Tears of the Kingdom versus the Switch 2 edition, it's a difference of $10. And I don't think they've lowered the price on Tears of the Kingdom either.
I mean, unsurprisingly, Nintendo's really stingy about that. So, or stingy is the wrong word, or maybe it's the right word. They don't lower the prices. That's the point.
And they, okay, as a heads up, it's technically on sale for $56 on Amazon, but its base price is $69.99.
All right, there you go.
That's the US version. But at the same time, it's one of those, pay $80 for the Switch 2 edition, and then Eddie, you'll get the stuff that you've been going like, see, David, they're going to do it, and I'm going like, look, Eddie, they're going to make you pay for it.
Yeah, but that's not a surprise. And because I've never bought the game, I'm going to pay just the Switch 2 version. Like whatever this shenanigans with the upgrade cost, I don't have to worry about because I'm buying the game for the first time when I buy it for Switch 2.
Yeah, and then find out that the upgrade is like $30, and then it's like, man, I feel cheated.
My patience is rewarded so far. and it looks like it'll even be more rewarded if it turns out the upgrade price is shitty. I hope it isn't. I don't want to put that out into the universe for you or anybody else, but so far, my patience is being rewarded.
But that was the caveat thing of like when they mentioned 120 FPS, was that's at 1080p gaming.
Yeah, I'm not expecting 120 FPS for Tears of the Kingdom. 60 is a-okay for me.
Actually, from the way that they described it, if you're going to be doing 1080p, most games will play at 120.
And if that's the case, that's going to be wonderful. Not expecting it, but it'll be wonderful. If I get 4K at 60, I'm okay with that too.
But if you're going to be playing at 4K, the best you're going to get is 60.
Which, fine by me. Fine by me. I haven't even really fallen for 4K gaming yet. I don't have 4K monitors, except for my TV. So I'm okay.
Is that where you mostly play it, though?
Yeah, sure. Zelda games, but not every other game I play.
The TV. But so it's one of those things of like, okay, I have to swallow my smugness. And it's like, okay, they did state that it would improve graphics and frame rate.
Yeah, I mean, I to this day, I don't know why you thought that wasn't going to be a thing.
Because they never really did it. They really didn't.
Well, you have to consider that that was one of the major criticisms of the Switch and has been a perennial problem for a lot of people trying to purchase the Switch, is whether or not it's, graphically comparable.
And I think it is because Nintendo knows how to create and optimize the games to a degree.
And
like,
then
it
again,
isn't like,
there's also the reality of, let's face it, has the last generation of graphic fidelity really has achieved, a generational effect in comparison to, say, going from the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS3
Right.
to the PS4?
Right, exactly.
It hasn't been as a big and as noticeable a difference. Therefore, Nintendo going from essentially PS3 era, sort of like mid-range, to finally PS4 era, is far more of a big of a deal than, I don't know what the PS6 might be cooking.
Yeah.
Like they would have to have like ray tracing on all the games, on all possible instances, because it like has literally 2 graphics cards running parallel or something. Nonsense.
Exactly.
But then it would probably cost like $800, and people would go, "Oh my god!"
Yeah. Oh yeah. We'll see how that looks like in like 5+ years.
I don't know. That's probably what's going to happen. Well, I don't know. Xbox seems to be like cooling down and trying to get out of the console market, so it's going to be Sony.
Except not really. It didn't. I don't know. I guess we didn't have time to talk about this, but I think they made an announcement last week, or a big hint of it, that Xboxes are going to be Steam machines pretty soon.
Yeah, but that sort of suggests that they're trying to essentially, they're not really making a proprietary system anymore. They're just sort of like making essentially as effectively, what's their service for the game stuff?
Game Pass.
A Game Pass box.
Which is great if they can, pivot off of it correctly, and making your box also be able to play Steam games is a pretty good pivot.
Admittedly, that slowly then turns into something of, why should I get a console when I can buy a PC for cheaper and get the same experience?
Well, that's the thing. I'm pretty sure they're going to have to frame the idea that their Xboxes, regardless of how they're constructed, are a better, easier deal for some people. Because the idea of like it's an all-in-one system, you don't have to think about it. It's primed for the best and capable. But then again, it could be a wash on some aspects because it's also a question of whether they will set that up in a particular fashion that says like this is the standard, and therefore will heavily force developers to like make it their games to that specification and no other system.
That's not a bad insight there.
And admittedly, that was kind of the allure of console gaming, contrary to some PC master race beliefs.
Enthusiasts.
Well, the advantage of a PC has always been the fact that it's a PC. You can do more than just game on it.
Yeah.
Of course, things started bleeding over when they became sort of family systems, in the sense of like they could play movies, you could connect to the internet through them. Many of the things that a PC could do, suddenly a console could do. But then again, I think it's also a question of, where people are today in terms of what they want out of a gaming experience.
Right.
Yeah. And the point I was trying to get across is with a console, they're standardized. Every Switch 2 will be the exact same specs as a Switch as the development console Switch 2.
Yep.
Well, yeah, but that's getting to the problem which I was just saying before with if they make a Xbox and make it like available for the Steam market, they could still have the same problem of console exclusives and console like priority. Of
Yeah.
like, I remember Arkham Knight. Is it not Arkham Knight. Which is the one that came out last in like 2011, 2012?
Gotham City?
Gotham City, yeah.
Arkham Knight, Gotham City, I believe.
Well,
No,
it
you
wasn't
mean
Arkham Knight.
Arkham?
It
It's
was
Arkham Knight.
Batman
There's
Arkham
Arkham
City.
Asylum. Yes, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and an Arkham Knight.
Really?
Arkham
Oh, yeah, it
City.
has to be Knight because it involves the stupid Knight character. So, that was a big kerfluffle in terms of PC port because it was clearly that it was designed for consoles first and it was broken on PC. It was a big kerfluffle at the time, and it unfortunately that's the
Considering that it's like $4 right
well,
now on
the only
Steam.
times that like the PC version eventually came out is oftentimes fan patches of things to like fix issues that the devs didn't do. So
Yeah, and that's the thing that like the whole like consoles were good because of the factor that they had a standardized set. People could develop for them and make them super easy to develop for. Now it's
well, I think that's still in some ways the case. It's the same thing as sort of getting a pre-built PC in some ways.
yeah.
But the problem has been is that sort of when everybody pivoted to building stuff for consoles is that they sort of failed on their ports to PC.
I don't know, to me, the important thing about Steam being available on a console like Xbox is the affordability of the Steam marketplace. I think that's what's one of the most important aspects of that.
But then
is that
again, it sort of comes back to what I was saying earlier with the idea of graphical fidelity. We're no longer having generational improvements that we used to have
Right.
from the 90s and early aughts.
Yeah, so there's got to be other things that bring people to a console, and something like I don't know a kinder marketplace is definitely one of those things that could bring people in.
A greater marketplace, such as like, let's face it, what happens if you want to play, old games, new games, things like that. You don't want to repurchase the same game again for a new console. Let's face it, that's the biggest criticism towards Nintendo is how many times I have to pay money to the same game.
Right. We just saw here.
Beat up the whole difference between Switch and Switch 2 editions.
Yep.
Because that was the biggest complaint that I saw a lot of people is like, wait, like the whole thing of like people that had PS4 games that went to PS5 initially, where they got like really cool, like free upgrades on the PS5 version. And people were like, wait, so I have to pay for an upgrade for the Switch 2 edition? And for me, it's like, with what they're putting forward, I can understand it, but I'm still apprehensive because we don't know the cost of how much that upgrade is. I mean, if it's $5 to $10, that's an acceptable range. It's 20 to 30.
The other thing we have to consider, or maybe worth considering, is that remember they said there was 3 types of games. There was the Switch 2 games. We've been talking about the upgraded original Switch games, but according to them, there's going to be Switch games you can play as is. So that if you already own those games, you can just play them on your Switch. Period.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that the Switch 2 edition games are games that will have basically expansions that you can buy. they're technically category 2 and 3.
I think the point of that is that at least people won't have to literally re-buy a game to play the exact same game on a Switch 2 system.
Which means if somehow you screw up and buy a Switch 1 edition of Tears of the Kingdom, I don't think you're going to do that, Eddie. But if
No.
by some method,
knock on wood,
that means that basically, yes, you can play Tears of the Kingdom, but it's going to be the Switch 1 edition version of it, not the Switch 2 edition.
Mm-hmm.
So
now I do wonder. I mean, this is a random thought. If I buy the Switch 2 version of Tears of the Kingdom, can I go? I guess I can't go back to my Switch 1 and play a Switch 1 version of the game. I don't think it goes that way, right? It probably doesn't.
I think with me owning a Switch edition of Tears of the Kingdom, from the way people have been theorizing it, and I kind of agree with this theory, is that the physical editions of the Switch 2 edition games are basically copies of the game with the expansion already on the cartridge.
Oh, that brings up something that I don't think was brought up in the video and that I saw rumblings about. So you can tell me what you've heard about already. I don't know to what degree this is true, but what people have been saying in some of the quick feeds that I literally could not look away from in time was that all the cartridges for the Switch 2 won't actually have the games on them. They'll just be like a key, basically, to download the game.
That one, I think, is a misunderstanding.
Okay.
Because, admittedly, and this is where some people are kind of getting a bit of the theory crafting that I saw, and this is about the Switch 2 editions, is that the Switch 2 editions are basically just digital codes, whereas some of the games, like Mario Kart World, are going to actually have a cartridge in there.
Okay, so this is something I just pulled from IGN.
Yeah.
Nintendo confirms some, I don't know who knows what some means, some Switch 2 game cards will only include a download key. Game key cards are already causing concern.
And that one I do kind of like. I did hear the rumor, and most of the theories that I've been hearing is that the some games are all the Switch 2 editions of the game.
Okay, I guess that would make sense. That would make sense.
What I've heard about that theory is that the Switch 2 editions include 2 game cards, one for a copy of the game and then one for the upgrade. And as it states there, and MPX did point out that Bravely Default included the game is one that has that game card notification in it, leading to the whole it's a digital only thing.
I mean that is concerning. If it would be more concerning if it was all games, but I think you're right, Asher, that this might only apply to the games that are being upgraded to the Switch 2 version.
Yeah.
Which, if that is what it is, I guess that's fine. I guess it's. I mean, I guess I can still see.
You mean like, okay, you purchase the version of, say,
Here's the Kingdom.
Let's use that as an example. So if I went and bought a card for Tears of the Kingdom rather than a digital download, according to reports and Nintendo themselves, that physical card is just a glorified game key.
Yeah, basically, if you buy the physical game box and you pop it open, what may pop out is just a game key that you redeem online.
Well, no, I don't even think I meant that. I think I'd still get.
Okay,
there's still going to be a physical card.
I thought the idea was like you actually have the card for Tears of the Kingdom. Like, say your current version of Tears of the Kingdom. It would technically have the ability to key in and say, "Oh, you have the ability to download Tears of the Kingdom to your Switch 2 if you purchase it." But it's sort of like it's not really you don't really have a physical copy of the Switch 2 version of the Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Or is it like you purchase the Tears of the Kingdom 2 for the Switch 2, Tears of the Kingdom for the Switch 2, and then you want to like say backroll it, it technically can do the same thing, but again, it's just a digital download. It's not actually the physical copy.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's where like the theory is going around is that I've heard that you like obviously in this article they mentioned that Bravely Default you open up, it's just the game key that you
Well,
redeem.
then slow down
Well, that
there.
makes some sense in terms of cost, but then again, Nintendo is the only person who's making like the game cards, so
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how much it would cost them to print it onto the cart.
Okay, yeah, that's why I think we need to clarify something there real quick. Those will still be physical cards, and you will still physically insert them into your console. The thing that makes them just glorified game keys is that the game key will be written into the card. So you plug it in, and then it'll start
that
downloading
gets
as a
into
card.
Sort of like when people were purchasing a CD or Blu-ray of a new release and find out that all the data on the disc is just simply, the installer to download it from,
Right.
the servers.
Right, exactly.
That it's not really physically there.
Exactly.
Because it's not on the disc, unless because of how the game carts work. Because unlike obviously a CD or a DVD or any of that sort of medium, the game carts have flash drives. Technically,
I think they're a form of like flash storage. Yes.
Yeah. Technically speaking, you could theoretically install it to the cart itself. Now, I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case because I don't know whether there's any read-write functionality in the Switch or the Switch 2 for that particular thing. Obviously, for the other storage medium, but that's beside the point.
But yeah,
some speculation there.
It's speculations. I mean, as stated in this article, it's like it's on some, but it's not on others. Like Donkey Kong Bonanza doesn't have it. Mario Kart World doesn't have it.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
we imagine those will be full normal, quote unquote, normal game cartridges.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, what about the Switch 2 editions? Like, are you getting a Switch 1 cart and then like a key that allows you to download it, or are you getting a Switch 2 cart that has the data for?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think it's the latter thing you're saying. It'll be a game card you put in that the system will read the key out of. It's not like you're not getting like the key written down and you entering it. It'll be within the game card itself.
Yeah,
I think that's speculation.
Admittedly, like for me, when I hear the term game key, I think of a redemption key, as in like you pop you scratch off the thing and then you type in the numbers.
Yeah, that's not what this is.
A physical like identifier key.
It's a game key card. Like I guess the terms appear too. The game card will be a physical game card that its data will contain the key.
Yeah,
it'll be a digital key, but within a physical medium.
Admittedly, until we actually have things in our hands, this is just theory. This is not like, oh, it's definite. It's like
a game theory. What?
God. But as stated, it's like that leads to things of like, okay, for somebody like myself who owns the Switch edition of Tears of the Kingdom, how does it identify? Like, how is it going to work? Like, is it going to download the extra data and then just kind of have a loader on top of it? Or is it, as you said, Eddie, is it going to download and then put in extra space on the cart the Switch 2 data that basically puts something in there that only the Switch 2 can identify, but the Switch 1 will not?
No, I think what's going to happen, speculation, I think what's going to happen in your case is that, well, okay, I have two theories. One, when you purchase the upgrade, it's just going to download as a totally separate game on your Switch 2. It'll just be Switch 2. You'll see Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 version on your Switch 2.
If I buy it, yes.
Yeah, if you buy it. The other thing I think it might be relates back to the last Direct where they have the virtual cards, right?
Yeah.
It might be that you'll gain a virtual card. like that was what was discussed in the last direct. Maybe that's what they'll give you.
The reason why I kind of wonder about it is because the factor that I saw the other day that some people decided to crack open Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition and found references to files that dealt with 4K textures on the game cart for a Switch game.
Oh, okay.
And so that's why some people were going theory-wise of maybe there's some sort of identifier that the Switch 1 will not read, but the Switch 2 can read.
How old is that game, by the way?
I have not played it yet. I've only played the original Wii U version.
How old is it?
Xenoblade Chronicles?
Yeah.
X Definitive Edition?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it just came out. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why, like, when I saw that article of like, I wonder if there's going to be some information, like, is there going to be like stuff that they're going to add to the game if I play on Switch 2? Because the whole thing of 4K textures is like 4K textures. Why?
Right,
The Switch can't even
right.
handle that.
Yeah.
Now that we've seen the Switch 2 and its supposed specs, oh, the 4K textures aren't for the Switch. They're for the Switch 2.
Weird that they're on the cartridge though.
But that's the weird part is that like the data miners could not find those 4K textures anywhere on the cart. They found references pointing to 4K textures.
Okay.
But there was nothing of the sort on the cart itself.
I mean, I guess it's not unheard of that it's just they left the code there.
Admittedly, it could be
It
leftover
could be the
code,
thing
obviously.
of that download the stuff on an external drive or something, or the internal drive.
Yeah. But as
But
stated,
still,
the Switch can't handle 4K textures.
Right.
And that's where it's like when I heard the news about it, that's why I'm getting a bit weird about everything.
on one hand, I can understand it because remember why every single game, especially AAA title, is now like hundreds of gigs is because of the stupid 4K textures.
Yeah.
100 gigs of.
So trying to not end up breaking the bank on the carts themselves to carry the stupid 4K textures makes sense.
Yeah, so it could be like
if you don't need to have the 4K textures because nobody's using the 4K textures because you're not playing the thing on, docked, which technically could happen.
Right. So it'll just be a on-demand download if needed, kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Because honestly speaking, I sort of wish you could actually download some games without the 4K textures.
Some games do allow you to do that, but they're
It's not a standardized thing. It's not like, oh, hey, I can do this free thing. Like, nope.
Hey, where was the announcement of Zenless Zone Zero on the Switch 2? Come on, Nintendo. Give me my Zenless Zone Zero on another portable device.
Where's Mario?
I actually would think that they would want that, considering the Switch 2 would be probably strong enough to run Zenless Zone Zero.
I mean, I bought an MSI Claw just so I could play that game on the go. But it would be nice if it was on a Switch too. Yeah, did I not tell you guys about a Claw like months ago?
No.
I did.
No, you did not say that you actually purchased an entirely new mobile device just simply so you could continue your gacha addiction.
Yep. I bought a Claw just so I can play that on the go.
Does it have a virtual assistant anime girl?
No, why would it?
Because some of them do offer that as a feature.
Oh, so basically you got a Steam Deck.
I got a Claw, but yeah.
Steam Deck.
Yeah.
I was thinking of mobile devices, but still.
I went with the MSI Claw over the Steam Deck because it runs Windows normally, and there isn't a dedicated ZZZ for Steam, so I went with the Claw.
Okay. I'm not considering that, like, the factor that, like, trust me, it's one of those situations of like, yes, I have a Steam Deck. I've seen some of the competitors, and I have the old Steam Deck. I don't have the new, like, OLED model.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, it runs okay. I admittedly, I don't play like super graphically heavy games. Considering that like
Right.
I could play most of the games like Saga Frontier 2 Remastered or Trails in the Sky.
Yeah,
Fun fact.
ZZZ is probably the most graphically heavy game I play on that thing.
Yeah.
On purpose, because I tried playing Satisfactory on it a while ago, and it works just fine. But yeah. But
you don't feel
that's
comfortable.
another thing that came with 1.1 control console controls.
Nice. Okay.
So you might have better success now.
I was using a mouse and keyboard, so like it didn't matter. But yeah. Okay. What are the thoughts we have about this? I mean, I'm giving up on streaming today, by the way, so we got time.
I mean, it's impressive enough. I mean, it's a pretty good hype thing of various new releases and confirmations of other things.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I made no secret that I'm definitely going to buy it, if nothing, because it's going to be my Tears of the
Because
Kingdom
it's
system.
exactly what you have been talking about the entire past year.
Yep.
That if the Switch came with 4K and with better graphics, you would buy it.
60. All I said was 60 FPS, just for the record.
120 FPS, 4K.
All I wanted was the 60 FPS. That's what I was waiting for.
I want unlocked FPS. I want unlimited frames.
I need to have 999 frames for my pixel game. And then basically die instantly because you can't fucking see anything.
Okay, so one question I have for you all, again, as someone who now owns a deck.
Okay.
Where do you think what that does to that deck market now? Is this a competitor? Is this Nintendo living its own world? Like, or have they been?
I think it's in some ways it's still Nintendo doing its own thing.
This is the stance that I've always taken, and this is something that I've had to deal with off and on again acquaintance of mine, where constantly he would be going, "Oh, look at this! Finally, somebody's going to take the Switch down," and he posts another portable computer, and I'm like, they're not even competing. They're not even. Literally, Gabe has stated that the Steam Deck is not meant as a competitor to the Switch.
I mean, it can't, if for nothing else, but because it's the software. If nothing
that's
else.
The biggest question is like, has the Switch actually caught up and is now trying to compete with the Steam Deck?
Yeah. Admittedly, this could be one of those things of Nintendo itself saw portable computing, aka the various Steam Deck and Steam Deck likes, as actual direct competitors. Even though maybe the intent from Gabe Newell was not intended to be that way.
Well, it's also a question of how you define competitor.
Yeah.
Because obviously, while you could say mobile gaming is a very wide berth of competition.
For me, in this case, sorry, go ahead.
Well, you can include phone gaming. You can include like mobile systems. But
portable computing.
I guess for me, what competitor means is that are these two taking market shares from each other? I think that's what it comes down to. Is there somebody out there going like, I can only go between Switch 2 or a deck? I can only go one.
If I had to say, I don't think they're in direct competition yet. Only insofar of that I think there's a slight difference in their targeted markets. Steam Decks are probably far more like male-oriented to like 25 to 55, while Switches are much more family-oriented, meant to be far more unigender, things like that, in terms of their appeal.
Mm-hmm.
And I think at the moment the market has yet to, hit that ceiling of people owning Switches, people owning, Steam Decks, to really ask themselves if I have to choose one. Because I think it's right now the people who want to purchase them are purchasing them. People are purchasing Switches are purchasing Switches, but I don't think it's necessarily like a big kerfluffle in terms of like say if you have to purchase a difference between an Xbox or a PlayStation.
You know what? I agree. I agree with what I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
Because it's not quite as a uniform platform, if you will, and it's not quite the same demographics.
Yeah, I mean, I guess speaking from experience, it isn't like the Switch 2 influenced my decision to get a claw. So,
well,
what
the other
influenced you to get a claw was the fact that you finally had a title to purchase for the claw,
right?
And offload it from your main computer.
I mean, I still play it on my main computer.
It from its phone, probably.
Yeah. My claw is I'm not at home. I need to play ZZZ machine. That's what that is.
Yeah, because did you ever play Zenless Zone Zero on your phone then?
Only a couple times. Well, but it's fine. It works great, honestly, but it's not my preferred way to play the game. So
yeah, I'm guessing half of that is probably just simply the graphical fidelity of a very small screen.
Not even that. It's just that the controls. The
control scheme, I would think, because obviously sometimes it's better to have an actual tactile button than just relying on pressing the ones on the screen.
Although not the tangent, like even the graphic is easy to fix because I could just use my XR glasses, hook them up, get a Bluetooth controller, and I'll be okay too. So I mean, in that case, there was a fix for that too all along. But the claw felt like a much better option, regardless.
But I would probably say, especially with the thing on the horizon of like somehow Steam is going to be allowing Steam machines back, with Steam OS now being allowed to be installed on pre-made gaming computers as well. So it's one of those like I don't see them in direct competition still.
Right.
Although I'm still going to see a lot of people going like they are direct competitors because it's mobile. It's like portable gaming. I'm like, really?
I can see them informing each other, but yeah, I feel like the markets they sell to are different enough still.
But
like even online when I was going through the feeds and even some people I was talking to directly, there's people who again maybe not happy with the prices that are being showed off right now. Where like I'm just gonna wait until my Steam Deck has a Switch 2 emulator, and like I get that idea, but even as an enthusiast, you didn't see me pulling up an emulator to play Tears of the Kingdom, right? Because I still don't know if it's that easy. Like I guess it is. Maybe it's easier than I'm giving credit for. But I don't. Even if it was a little easier, even me as an enthusiast who didn't pull the trigger on that, I can't see anyone who would love a base Switch 2 experience having the motivation to make their Steam Deck play Switch 2 games at some point.
Admittedly, I can't say to that because like I know people who have quite literally set up their Steam Deck as an emulation deck.
Mm-hmm.
No joke. Admittedly, most of the people that I knew that did that, the highest or latest generation of console that they got it to do was PS2 and GameCube. Not farther. Mostly because of the fact that they were like, that's the generation I grew up on. I wanted to play games from that generation, so they wanted to play GameCube games and PS2 games. I'm not saying that there weren't people out there that actually set up the Switch emulator on their Steam Deck and had it playing, for like high resolution Tears of the Kingdom at 60 FPS with that mod. Because obviously there are probably people out there that did, and whether those people were fans and they just like yourself, Eddie, wanted a better experience. Or I'd probably say there was probably an equal amount of people like yourself that they're like, I've heard this and I've seen it, and I'll wait to see if there's a better version that comes out. And obviously, you got rewarded for it versus somebody like me who I'm sitting here now going like, I enjoyed the game. I I want to see first what the cost is for that upgrade. Um, and either it's going to burn me or it's going to be I'm just paying the difference. Versus like, let's say the upgrade is $5. I'm I would be actually better off than you would be because I saved $5. That's not
Right.
much.
Right.
That's basically doing. I saved $5 whole. No, that's like okay, cool. I got a little bit better. Eddie still gets his improvements. We still enjoy a game.
I was going to say that I think what I did was the equivalent of like me, had I done this, would have been the equivalent of me waiting for Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade to come out on PS5 before playing it. That's essentially what I just did.
Basically, we're doing that, yeah.
Except I think the only difference is that at least Intergrade is all the one experience for the price of a new game. Where in this case, Nintendo's like, "Hey, we're going to make you pay a bunch more for this this quote unquote brand new experience." So there's that.
Yeah. And trust me, it's one of those like finding out that Metroid Prime 2, I knew this was going to happen, was that, oh, it's going to get a Switch 2 edition. Cool. That still means I can buy my Switch edition and enjoy it. If that way, like later down the line, I can just get the Switch, like do the upgrade for the Switch 2 edition and enjoy mouse controls when I get my Switch 2, whenever that's going to be. Obviously, I kind of have to make sure that I'm at a stable point in my life first. It's getting stabilized right now, but it's still one of those I am paranoid as shit.
Mm-hmm.
So,
any other thoughts?
It was a good presentation. I will state that it sucked that the EN one kind of died.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Like 2/3 through the presentation.
Yeah, for live viewers, obviously we didn't experience that, but yeah.
For live viewers. But then again, I was also watching with a friend, and we were doing he was watching with 4 screens of the EN, the JP, Corone, and Corone's chat.
Oh wow, okay.
Either Corone's chat or JP chat, not EN chat. So I was sitting there listening to Corone go, Nande? Nande? The entire time, and her going, at the same time going, like, because when our mutual friend, like, when the EN one went down, his entire, like, multi-screen stream went down. And he was kind of like, oh, I'm trying to get back.
Like, what's going on?
And it's like, no, we're still here. I think it's not you. So, but I think
it was a big day.
YouTube experienced a kind of a shortage this morning after Nintendo broke them.
It broke the internet for a second, but it broke it.
So, my thoughts, the prices are a bit, of course, obviously because of various outside factors.
Economic factors, we'll call them.
Economic factors. On top of the game prices, which that one is like...
Yeah.
But I'm more pissed at the people misrepresenting the pricing by going, games are going to be 80 to 90 USD when it's 80 to 90 euros.
I mean,
USD.
I get what you mean, but also it's not technically wrong since tax isn't factored in there yet, so it's still going to be like $90 anyway.
$9 plus. If they were saying 80 to 90 games and that's including tax, I'd be more okay. Yeah, sure.
I don't think that's what they meant, but like it's just an accidental not wrong.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's just simply the fact that the reality that games are not going to be staying at the price point that they were, even when they updated it to $70.
This is even before GTA 6 comes out, because and there's already rumors that that's going to break the mold.
People want GTA 6 to be $100.
Yeah. So that might already break the mold even further than this. So
yeah,
I don't know. The big problem to me, I think we already talked about this before, is not necessarily the asking price of the day one asking price. It's the question of how much it costs after they start discounting it. Because I think that's going to be more important.
And Nintendo is notorious for at a
Never discounting?
maximum.
Yeah,
No,
for
at a
not
maximum discounting like 10%.
Yeah, their discounts are not great.
Versus
Which is only offset by the fact that they make great products. So like, at least they got that going for them.
We were joking about the Switch cons at the beginning and end of the stream.
Okay, generally great products.
$50 for a camera. Welcome, Connect. But
still better than that freaking alarm clock.
To me, I think some things that Nintendo has been doing, because I did download the Nintendo Today app just to see how it operates. I'm actually kind of liking it. No offense.
Oh, I forgot to download that.
It's actually a good. I looked at it. It is actually something I like because it is a way to keep track of release dates for games you may be interested in. As well as, in this case, there's going to be actual Switch 2 demos at select Nintendo stores in the next few weeks.
That's right. I remember them talking about that before. That's right.
Yep. And tomorrow, they're going to be, obviously, Ian's going to be doing a Treehouse presentation about the Switch 2, probably going a bit more in detail. I'm not going to pay attention to that one, but I am going to look up some of the things that they talk about because I'm hoping that they do talk about the upgrade price for the Switch 2 editions. I'm really hoping that they do bring that up. And they may, and it probably is on the docket to be brought up because I'm pretty sure a lot of people like myself are going, "Oh, how much am I going to pay to get that upgrade?"
Right.
And $20 to $30, that's in the range of ew.
Yeah.
If it's 5 to 10, that's an acceptable. 15 is that weird one where it's like, really, Nintendo?
Yeah. Anything more than 10 is going to cause some flips in the stomach. Let's
And
put it
let's
that way.
face it, if the price of games is going up, what if the price of this upgrade also goes up?
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah. Flipping of stomach for sure.
Yeah, because like as stated, base copy of Tears of the Kingdom is $70. The Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition, $80. So if I only pay $10, it's okay. I'm paying the difference. Good. I paid, but if it's like 20 or 30, Eddie's going to be the lucky boy in the factor that quite literally
he saved a lot of money.
He saved money. Yes, he's still paying $80, but if it's 70 plus 20, I'm paying 90, which means that he saves $10 compared to me. That's excluding the factor that I bought a collector's edition. So I already paid a chunk of change for that.
A chunk of change.
But if it's like, oh, yeah, now we're just going in circles. But it's like, I'd say it was a good presentation. Yeah, the pricing is a little bit of, but then again, I'm also remembering the various gripes and groans of $5.99 PS3. What?
We've been down a similar road before.
Yeah. So the whole for me, it's like 450 for something that potentially can do 4K gaming at 60 frames per second. on appropriate screens. That's not a bad price, to be honest. But I know there's people out there that they just see the price and it's like, man, their last it's like, I remember when the GameCube was $99. And it's like, Nintendo was taking a hit on that. You know that, right?
Back in my day.
Back in my day. GameCube was
And
$200.
the only reason why Nintendo recovered is because it did release the Wii.
Yeah. Which...
And if the Wii wasn't crazy successful, I don't think Nintendo would still be here, actually. At least not in the same capacity it is today. It might end up turning into another Sega.
Yeah.
Sega.
So, from my perspective, it's good good presentation. Definitely got me a little bit hyped. I'm not gonna lie, yes, I'm looking forward to it. Am I going to be like Eddie and have everything set aside? No, I don't have anything set aside.
I have a privilege. I understand.
That's because like you had you had situations and you prepared for it, versus me, whereas I was trying to make sure things were staying afloat.
Yeah.
As well as trying to deal with a real life issue that I thankfully has been resolved, and now I don't have to worry about it. So,
with that, I think we've bled the stone dry. I think now it's just time to wait for what else comes next. And in 2 months, well, hopefully in 2 months I'll have my hands on one, so we'll go over it. Yeah. So with that, thanks everyone. It's been a long one.
Sandland on it.
Yeah, if they let me. I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't know if it's going to be available. So, man.
Actually, no, I think Sandland is on Switch.
I can play it on my deck.
It's not necessarily on the Switch too.
It's on my claw, so I can play it on there. Thank God for the Steam store.
Sadly, it's a bit late for stream, so
yeah. It's all right. Well, we're not recording tomorrow, so we'll just be able to stream the entire time.
Yep.
All right, folks. We'll call it there. Remember, Tuesday, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays we stream. So find us, see our schedule online, and come join us when we do actually stream. Except for today, we were busy with this. So with that, good night, everybody. Adios.
Well.